Texas is building the wall. We have exclusive footage for you that was just played. Texas is building the... I'm in Arizona right now. Arizona is seeing the largest influx of criminal migrants in Arizona history. It's never been this bad. It has never been as bad. Hundreds of thousands of people flowing through the Yuma section of Arizona. This is really important to me because this is a section of Arizona that I have personally visited. I've visited with the people who live there, the sheriffs who live there, the communities who live there, and they're being ravaged right now. Especially the farmers, the people. Yuma, Arizona is where most of the lettuce in America is grown. It's where a ton of your produce is from. And guess what happens when hundreds of thousands, an invasion, a physical army invasion of criminal migrants march through the fields where your lettuce is from? Guess what happens when those shoes hit your lettuce? It's disgusting, and it makes the crop unusable. It's one of the small little things that you get when you actually travel to the border. Corporate media doesn't want to show you the border. Corporate media doesn't want to show you what Joe Biden has done to our nation as he rips it asunder. I will show you that. We are the influencers. We are the media now. We are the people who actually have the power to show what is really happening in this country. And I'm excited to bring you the new Texas border wall, the first videos of the new Texas border wall being built right now in the state of Texas. Check this out. Very exciting.
State-funded border wall, and Fox News got an exclusive look at that. Plans have been in the works for months after the administration halted construction on President Trump's border wall. Bill Malusian on that story today, back in La Jolla, Texas for us. Bill, how's it going? Good morning.
Bill, good morning to you. Texas Governor Greg Abbott first announced back in June that Texas was going to start building its own border wall. Well, that wall is now officially starting to materialize. Take a look at this exclusive sneak peek we got yesterday. We went out to the construction site. What you're looking at are the very first portions of that Texas border wall going up. This is Starr County down here in the Rio Grande Valley. This particular section here is eventually going to be a 1.7 mile stretch of the wall. It's all being built on Texas state land, all paid for by the state of Texas. Governor Abbott's idea behind this being, if the federal government isn't going to build the wall or secure the border, then the state of Texas will step up and do it itself. Take a look at this drone video we shot of the construction site as well. What you're looking at is historical here. No state has ever built its own border wall before, but Governor Abbott promised this to Texans, and he says the state has to do it. The contractor building it is actually one of the contractors who was building the Trump federal wall out here before Biden came in and canceled their contract. Now, as you can see, they are building for Texas and building for Governor Abbott. Speaking of which, the governor himself is going to be out at that site tomorrow to hold a large press conference to formally announce that project and also discuss other wall projects down in the pipeline. Fox News will be there for that press conference, noon Eastern time, and we will be covering it live. But let's talk about why they feel the need to build this wall. Take a look at this video that we shot yesterday right here in La Jolla. As usual, Rio Grande Valley sector continues to be the busiest along the border. Much of what you're looking at right here, La Jolla area, as these family units streamed in yesterday afternoon, this is all federal land, federally owned land. There is no border wall here. It's essentially a free-for-all. If people can get across the river, they can just walk in and give themselves up, which is what you're looking at right here. Take a look at this drone video we shot yesterday morning. This was entirely different groups of migrants showing up. Again, you can see they just stream into the La Jolla area. We see this almost every single day out here. A DHS source telling me just since October 1st, more than 112,000 migrant encounters have already taken place just here in the Rio Grande Valley sector alone. Those numbers are up 164% compared to the same time period last year. So busy down here because there's barely any federal wall, and much of it is federal land. And now Governor Abbott says, well, where there's state land, we're going to build a Texas wall. Back out here live, we talk about how these migrants continue to come in from all over the world. A DHS source tells me that yesterday, Border Patrol picked up 2 migrants, one from Syria and one from Morocco. They were both traveling together. Just goes to show you, they're coming in from all over the place, not just those Northern Triangle countries.
Oh, yet again. Thank you, Bill. Bill Malusian.
I'm not trying to be alarmist. I'm not an alarmist person. I feel like this channel is a very realistic channel. And we like to talk about realistic solutions. We like to talk about what we can do to save this nation. I'm not being alarmist when I say that it is porous and unaccounted for immigration that led to September 11th. Ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do is go back and look at a lot of different opinions on September 11th, okay? I got a lot of buddies. I come from a working class Midwestern town. What you did in my high school and what you did in my community was you signed up for the military after September 11th. I have many, many friends who served very honorably and many who did not return. Ladies and gentlemen, all you need to do is go back and read the accounted for history. This is not even remotely an issue that someone can argue. The attackers on September 11th overstayed their visas. They were here illegally. They were from countries that hated us, and they entered our country, and then they remained in our country illegally. And that is that was how materialized the worst terrorist attack in American history. When you hear that there are suspected ISIS and Al-Qaeda terrorists that DHS has picked up, we've reported on that many times. When you hear the panic from Fox News' reporter, the only reporter, Bill Mnuchin, the only reporter covering this in the country, on the border, he is consistently on the border. Bill Mnuchin is an awesome patriot. When you hear that they're picking up criminal migrants from Yemen, criminal migrants from areas of the Middle East that have high terroristic activities, you should be horrified. You should be scared for your life. If that isn't motivation to vote out this administration, I don't know what is. And I call them criminal migrants because I kind of agree with the left. No one is illegal, right? No person is illegal. You're allowed to live in the world. You're a criminal if you do not behave in accordance with American laws. So American laws say you must never enter American territory unless you are invited, unless you produce the proper paperwork, and unless you go through a port of entry, and unless America invites you in. That's what happens when someone from England flies here, right? You get invited in, and here's how long you can stay. It's criminal to cross our borders illegally. This has been made law and has been written down in law so many times. We have 7 different laws, not executive orders, laws. Executive orders are weak. What is done by the pen can be undone by the pen. Laws passed through Congress, passed through the Senate, passed through judicial review, stood on the president's desk, signed. That says that if you violate our country's border, you are a criminal, you are a felon. It prescribes the amount of charging that you can have on a federal level. It prescribes that you can go to jail for an extremely long period of time and be barred from ever entering America again. Immediate deportation. Ladies and gentlemen, they're criminal migrants. They're not migratory persons of interest. They're criminal migrants. What you see there is Texas finally taking a stand, spending Texas money. Now that needs to happen in Arizona, where I am right now. It needs to happen in New Mexico. It needs to happen all along the border. If the federal government won't do it, then you must do it. And the governors, your only job and your singular job, a singularity of your job as an elected official is to protect the people who you represent. The end. That is your only goal. Now, what happened when Donald Trump was protecting the people who elected him to office? Donald Trump was protecting our nation by enforcing our immigration laws. And our immigration laws stated, rightly, in my opinion, that you should not be housing minors with adults, and that's a recipe for really bad things to happen. When you have little children with adults and you have no idea if they're related, because human smuggling and child trafficking is a huge issue on the border. The number one thing I learned when I went to the Yuma sector just down the road here, about 2 hours, is that human smuggling, that Joe Biden is the largest human smuggler in American history. That's what I learned. In world history. No singular politician. Joe Biden will go down in history as the largest human smuggler in world history. No politician has ever facilitated the grotesque abuse of women and children the way that Joe Biden has across borders, and it is indeed a modern-day slave trade by definition by the UN. The United Nations lists human smuggling as slavery. Thank you for watching. We are 100% independent news. Are you sick of being lied to? We certainly are. That's why we started this channel. But we can't do it without you. We can't keep going without your help. All we ask is that you click like and subscribe and share this video. It's free. and it keeps us going, it keeps us growing, and it keeps us getting the truth out there to break the rotted corporate media infrastructure that wants to lie to you every single day, wants to corrupt your narratives, your truth, your story, and your very society. So support us by clicking like, clicking subscribe, and thank you, Patriots.